When was the last time you heard a song? I'm sure it was earlier today. If not, it'll be later today. From people who think they can make music to people who think they can make music, there's always going to be somebody for everybody. Music has directed our wars, contacted the spirits, and caused at least 10 deaths. Suffice to say, it's a great influence on the people of our little blue world, and now it's time for you to jump in the deep side of the pool and try to make it yourself. If you're going to make music, it might be a good idea to understand what makes music likable. Some people say that good music is subjective, and though some people are correct, kind of, it's subjective up to a point. I think we all can agree that Mozart was over Soulja Boy. And if you disagree, you are entitled to your own opinion. But still, we talk about Mozart hundreds of years later, and I think the last person to ever crank that has already been born. Still, what made Mozart good? Why is he remembered? He made over 600 pieces of music, and yet every single one of them can be torn apart and new ideas and symphonic reasons can be found. Not one note detracts from the larger picture of each song. Masterpiece after masterpiece is what cemented him in history. A full range of emotions is completely on display through most of his music, from triumphant songs to completely melancholy ones. And yet it still works. Mostly of the same instruments, but never the same feel. I believe good music will find the people it's looking for, but it has to meet certain qualifications to be good music. Popularity does not mean quality. And the main factor to quality is emotional complexity expressed in a concise way. AKA, no matter how much blood, sweat, time, or tears you put in, if it makes me feel nothing, it's not good. So now you have an idea of what music should do to other people. But how does one express that? Most people would say notation. But what if you never learned how to play an instrument or how to read sheet music? To add that process onto this video would make it as long as Avatar. So I'm going to explain why you don't need it. Notation is often referred to as the language of music, but that's highly reductive and covers more ground than it's supposed to. Notation is the most efficient way to convey musical instructions in a universal manner, kind of thing. But it doesn't mean you're not a musician if you can't read it. And if you doubt that, according to Classical FM, you'll have to tell that to Jimi Hendrix, Taylor Swift, and any of the Beatles. So many famous musicians will give you a blank stare if you hand them a piece of sheet music. So there's no excuse there. That moves on to the titan of the industry that every musician has tried to understand. Music theory. Music theory is effectively the person at the sleepover who won't shut up about it being the next day after midnight. If you hear this chord, we all think, ooh, pretty. But a music nerd would say, actually, that E minor 7 sharp 11th chord needs to be resolved because there's no musical context. And most of us would kindly ask the village shaman to please remove the curse that was just bestowed upon us. Now you're ready to start. You have a definition of what good music is, and you know you don't need any professional training to make music. But how? It sounds unhelpful, but start. I know that's like the whole point, but here's what you're going to do. Get yourself and maybe a friend. Find something that is capable of making music, and that includes your voice. And mess around until you find something you like. A small melody, a chord, a lyric. And play it until you're sick of it. And each time you play it, add something. A new melody, a new chord, more lyrics. And through the amazing mathematical property of addition, by the end, you should have something musical. This is where you find out if this is something for you. Not if you have some super secret talent. Like Master Paku in IMBD says, with fierce determination, passion, and hard work, you can accomplish anything. Raw talent alone is not enough. Every person ever has feelings. Those feelings control your course of thought, how you react to situations, what kind of people you connect with, and so much more. Having the ability to make something that can control that is an awesome power that not many people take the time to master. The yin to the yang of that power is giving yourself the room to be able to put your own feelings into the music and let yourself be seen through it. The music you make will put yourself on full display, whether you realize or want it to. But I challenge you, put yourself on full display. You may realize more than you expect.